Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. At Forrester, Donna and Katie welcome Brooke back as Ridge and Eric look on. Brooke says her ex saved her life and flashes to him telling her, "We'll make this right," on the boat. Talk turns to Grace letting Liam believe he had brain tumor. Brooke's sure that Bill will show her no mercy. Ridge gets a text and has to go. Brooke, raising a brow, asks if there's someone he has to see. At the Forrester mansion, Taylor's with Kelly. Didn't she leave with Steffi? Who wants to welcome her grandpa back with, what else, but wedding drawings? In the design office, Electra remarks on Ridge saving Brooke the way he will saved her from Remy. She tells her boyfriend it's something she'll never forget. Will urges her to open up to him. Electra admits she's still struggling, and they embrace. Amid some flashbacks, Will assures his girlfriend he'll always be here for her. Electra confesses that the fake nudes made her more cautious when it comes to some things, including them. She assures her boyfriend that she wants him. Will tells her there's no rush and he'll wait, but looks disappointed when they hug. In the main office, Brooke bellyaches to Eric, Katie, and Donna about Ridge going to see Taylor. She tells them they shared a magical moment in Naples. Eric and Donna try to reassure Brooke that everything will work out with Ridge. When they leave, Nick appears to check on the blonde and clear a few things up. Katie's sure to mention Ridge coming to Brooke's rescue as she leaves the office. Nick apologizes for the boat accident and is glad to see that Brooke's okay. When Nick learns Ridge has gone to see Taylor, he pulls out an engagement ring and reveals he had a proposal planned for their boat trip. "I love you, Brooke," she gasps. "I love you too." At the Forrester mansion, Ridge has arrived and Taylor and Kelly give him the full court press on all thing wedding and honeymoon related. Taylor wants to go back to Street Thomas, where it all started. Since they can't do flashbacks to those scenes, Tay tells her granddaughter all about the treasure chest containing her ring. Kelly gets an idea and runs off. Ridge perches beside Taylor and crabs about Nick horning in on their business trip in Italy and putting himself and Brooke in danger. Taylor's sure it was hard for him to nearly lose Brooke, but takes the opportunity to remind Ridge that the blonde has a pattern of unhealthy behavior when it comes to him. He's not interested in talking to the world-renowned psychiatrist, just his fiancée. Accommodating as always, Taylor reveals that she started planning their wedding. Ridge's eyes hit the floor. Taylor pleads with him to not get sucked back in with Brooke. He deserves a life with someone, like her. As Ridge clears his throat to broach something difficult, Kelly plays the spoiler eye popping up to declare how excited she is about their wedding. The day at Forrester Creations began like any other, but behind the polished exterior of the design house, emotions were about to erupt in ways no one could have predicted. A storm was quietly brewing in the hearts of two of Los Angeles' most entangled couples, threatening to upend their lives and leave long-lasting scars. Brooke's heart on the line. Brooke Logan had barely caught her breath after an intense morning meeting about the upcoming Forrester runway showcase when Nick Marone appeared at her office, his usual swagger softened by a rare vulnerability. There was an unmistakable tension in the air, a weight that hinted something monumental was about to happen. Brooke glanced up from her sketches, her eyes meeting Nick's. "Brooke," Nick began, his voice unusually steady but charged with emotion. "I need to tell you something." Brooke's curiosity and caution intertwined. She had long since grown accustomed to Nick's bold gestures, but this felt different. There was a gravity to his expression, a raw sincerity that she hadn't seen in a long time. Nick took a deep breath, then reached into his jacket pocket. From it, he slowly pulled a small velvet box. Brooke's eyes widened, a mix of surprise and disbelief flashing across her face. "Nick, what is that?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Nick dropped to one knee. The motion was fluid, determined, and utterly commanding. The room seemed to hold its breath as he opened the box, revealing a dazzling diamond ring that caught the sunlight streaming through the Forrester windows. Brooke Logan, he said, his voice trembling slightly, betraying his own nerves. You've been my anchor, my inspiration, and the love of my life. I don't want to waste another day without knowing you're mine. Will you marry me? The words hung in the air, electric and impossible to ignore. Brooke's mind raced, memories of her long, complicated history with Ridge Forrester colliding with the undeniable truth of her feelings for Nick. This was a man who had never stopped fighting for her, whose devotion had been unwavering. And yet, Ridge. The name echoed in the recesses of her heart, a shadow she couldn't simply erase. Nick's gaze was locked on hers, patient but insistent. Brooke, I'm asking you to choose us. Choose happiness, Brooke. Please. For a moment, time seemed suspended. Brooke's hand went to her lips, her mind a whirlwind of emotion. The office felt simultaneously too large and too small, the walls closing in as her heart made the impossible decision. Yes, yes, Nick, she finally whispered, tears welling in her eyes. I will marry you. Nick's face broke into a triumphant, almost boyish grin. He slid the ring onto her finger, the diamond catching the light in a way that mirrored the radiance in Brooke's eyes. The room erupted in cheers as employees who had quietly gathered to witness the moment, including Donna, Katie, and even the reluctant Ridge, applauded. It was a moment of pure triumph for Nick, a victory long in the making. But even as Brooke and Nick shared a private, elated embrace, a storm was quietly gathering elsewhere, one that could threaten their newfound happiness. Across town, Ridge Forrester sat alone in his office, a glass of whiskey trembling slightly in his hand. He was a man accustomed to control, to knowing how every story would end, yet in matters of the heart, he was helplessly adrift. Taylor Hayes had been at his side for months now, her presence both comforting and suffocating. Taylor was devoted, loving, and patient, yet Ridge could not ignore the gnawing sense that something was missing. Nick's engagement to Brooke only magnified the truth he had been avoiding. He had been living in a fantasy of love that could no longer exist. Ridge's mind was a battlefield. He thought of Brooke, the years, the heartbreaks, the passion they had shared. And yet, the thought of finally letting her go, of truly stepping back, filled him with a grief he could hardly bear. He knew Taylor deserved honesty, but the words felt like daggers poised above her heart. Meanwhile, Taylor arrived at the office, unaware of the inner turmoil consuming Ridge. She carried her usual gentle optimism, a determination to confront him with her feelings and perhaps secure the future they both longed for. Ridge, we need to talk, Taylor said softly, her voice careful but resolute. She approached his desk, her eyes searching his for reassurance, for a spark of the man she loved. Ridge looked up, meeting her gaze. For a moment he saw every memory of their time together, the laughter, the late nights, the tender moments, and he felt the sharp sting of impending loss. Taylor? He began, only to falter, words catching in his throat. Taylor took a step closer. Ridge, I know something is bothering you. I can feel it. We can't keep avoiding this. We need to be honest with each other. Ridge swallowed hard, the weight of his conscience pressing down. He knew the truth would hurt Taylor, but he could no longer deny it. The love he had for Brooke was still alive, fierce, and unyielding. It had not dimmed despite the years, despite the twists of fate that had pushed him and Taylor together. Taylor, you are everything a man could ever hope for, Ridge said finally, his voice low and strained. But my heart, it belongs to someone else. I can't give you what you deserve because I am still in love with Brooke. Taylor's eyes widened, a mixture of shock and hurt crossing her delicate features. Her hands trembled slightly, but she stood tall, refusing to let despair break her composure. You love Brooke? Taylor's voice was barely audible, yet it carried the weight of 1,000 emotions. Ridge nodded, the truth cutting through the room like a cold wind. I do. And I've been living a lie, trying to convince myself that this could work, but it can't. I'm so sorry, Taylor. I never wanted to hurt you, but I can't keep pretending. Taylor's face softened, tears threatening to spill. She had always known that Ridge's heart had a stubborn streak, but hearing it laid bare was more painful than she could have anticipated. I understand, she whispered, though her voice quavered. I always hoped we could have a future together, Ridge. I wanted it more than anything. But if your heart is elsewhere, I can't stand in the way of true love. Ridge reached for her hand, his touch tender, a silent apology passing between them. You are amazing, Taylor. You will find happiness. You deserve it, more than anyone. I hope someday you can forgive me. Taylor smiled faintly, a bittersweet expression that mingled sorrow with grace. I already have, Ridge. I already have. As Ridge struggled with his heartbreak, the news of Nick's engagement to Brooke spread like wildfire. Within hours, the Forrester mansion and the design house were abuzz with speculation, congratulations, and whispers of jealousy. Donna and Katie were thrilled, seeing the happiness Brooke deserved reflected in her smile. Even Ridge's son Thomas couldn't hide his surprise at the development. But not everyone celebrated. Taylor, though composed, withdrew to process her emotions privately, understanding that Ridge's honesty was both a gift and a wound. And Ridge himself found the victory bittersweet. Brooke had chosen another man, yet his own path toward closure and personal truth was only just beginning. Meanwhile, Nick reveled in the rare moment of quiet triumph. He had spent months proving his unwavering commitment to Brooke, overcoming obstacles, misunderstandings, and even Ridge's lingering shadow. Finally, the woman he loved had chosen him, an emotional high that made every past struggle feel worthwhile. In a rare gesture of solidarity, Nick invited Ridge to a private lunch at Forrester Creations. The tension between the men was palpable. Ridge, dignified yet pained, and Nick, confident yet cautious, navigated the delicate waters of their shared history. I know this hasn't been easy, Nick said, breaking the silence. But I want you to know I respect you, Ridge. Brooke deserves happiness, and so do you. We all deserve honesty in our lives. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our Bold and BAU UTVFUL UPDAT YouTube channel for more update news.